Good afternoon and welcome back to the Dennis Herrera Show. I appreciate you guys being here with me. I see that the first one saying here, Dustin Nunez, how are you? Good afternoon. Hope you're doing good. My good friend, ¿Qué pasa, güey? How's Mexico going, brother? I hope you're having a blast down there, celebrating, having a good time, getting the stuff that you need to get. Cool Cat Renee, always good to see you in the house, my big bro. What's going on, big bro? Happy Mac looking snazzy, says Happy Smack. Happy Mac. Happy Mac. The big daddy, Mac Daddy. Oh, man, forget it. I don't know. I don't know where I was going with that. It is a Monday. Happy Monday, every single one of you beautiful people joining me on my live. Let me get logged in to my browser chat so that I can chat with you guys when we are watching videos. I just got a couple of clips, a couple of videos to watch today so that we can stay on track. There is an upcoming video, but that's not going to be until like 2 weeks from now. So we're going to wait for that to come out and become available to us. I want to say really thank you so much, guys, for joining. Thank you for hitting the like. If you haven't hit the like yet, get it done. Get it done. Says, did the microphone up? Cool Cat Renee. Man, my senior citizens in the house need more volume. All right, that's showing red to me. So there's not much I can do about the audio. And, of course, I get louder sometimes. And that's probably when you, my friend Cool Cat Renee, can hear me. Because when I get passionate and excited, the voice goes up. Cray Miss, how are you? Another record to set you already sound like a politician. Let's go. You gotta, hey, listen, in order to play with the wolves, you gotta be a wolf. In order to hang out with the pack of lions, you gotta be a lion. Otherwise, you can't hang. Thank you for the compliment, Happy Mac. My man, what's going on, man? Welcome to the chat. This weekend, I took the weekend off, and I think that I'm going to take every weekend off from now on. Unless there is some sort of like important breaking news that can't wait for Mondays. I think I'm going to take my weekends off so I can spend time with myself, with my wife, and my children. I think it's a good thing to do. Right, babe? Yeah. The wife agrees. As a matter of fact, the wife wants me to do that. So we will respect the Queen's commands because she's in charge. The wife says no. Man, it makes you feel like a man. When your wife says you are in charge, you're the man of the house, that's what I'm talking about. That's why, how long, babe? 15 years? 15 years married? 16? Going 15 years. 15 years, going on 15 years. Feels good. Faith Walker, how are you? Welcome. That's right, baby. Only my members can use those special emojis. Guys, if you haven't signed up for my membership, oh, babe, I forgot to brush my beard, and you told me how many times? 3 times? I'm telling you, my wife tried to keep up with me in here and keep me in check, but sometimes I just forget right away because I got so many things going on, millions of things going on through my head. Mexico is great, says Adam. Is having a good time down in Mexico, drinking margaritas and watching some senoritas. Be careful now. Be good. You see my lives from Honduras. A lot of honeys be offering, but you got to say no, my friend. You got to say no. We are getting rain in Los Angeles. Cool Cat Renee is sick and tired of those fires going on in L.A. We need to get rid of those fires in L.A. Let's see her to say hello. I want to keep my wife as private as possible. As you guys know, a lot of people like to threaten my life. And I try not to show my kids nor my wife. Some of you may have seen her sneaking by sometimes. But yeah, I try to keep her private. At least for now, until we get rid of all this craziness going on. All right, let's set the record straight. Josefina Arias, or Arias. Welcome, Wild and Fresh, my man. What's going on? Good to have you in here. One of my biggest promoters right next to Cool Cat Renee. It is because of these two guys in here that I have Somehow 16,000 subscribers, which is nothing. I get it. I understand. And plus, we slacked the whole month of January. As you guys already know, I was gone for almost a whole month. So it is good to be back. Let's see if we can get some numbers today, Monday. What else we got in here? John Anthony, good afternoon, sir. God bless you and your family. Let's see. Tyler, how are you, my friend? God bless you. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for being in here. What do we got here? We already got a comment deleted on here. Come on, guys. Be nice. We're going to set the record straight. Who can and who should vote in our elections? We have a little dilemma here. And I was thinking about this the whole weekend. So let's get into it. I went around wearing my Make America Great hat again. And, it's funny, right? Because a lot of Mexicans give me this look. Like, how dare you wear that hat? Somehow they didn't say anything, so I appreciate that. Maybe they respect my opinion, my freedom of expression, my freedom of speech. And I appreciate that. So I went to, what's going on, Mr. Larson? What's going on, Jim? I wouldn't trust you to vote. Well, guess what? I can't vote. Juan Alberto, how are you? Juan Alberto already knows. Americans only can vote. Nobody else can vote in our election. No poors voting. Chris, I will change that to lazy. Those who are not able to get IDs to open bank accounts, to drive, to identify themselves, I'm sorry for you, but you don't get to vote. Do your country a good service and get a freaking ID so that you can exercise your right and privilege to vote. And that's right. Everybody agree with me. Everybody agrees with me on that. You have to agree because it's the truth. The truth shall set you free, as they say. Kevin, is nice and sunny here in Oklahoma, says Kevin. Kevin, I hope that you guys are having a wonderful time in Oklahoma. I don't know how the weather really is down there, but you know what? I know my weather here in Washington State, and that's the only one that I keep up with. So thank you guys for letting me know. Crazy says, I understand. We're glad to have her with us. Yeah, sometimes she goes in the chat and says hello. So you guys keep an eye out for my wife. Let's see. Mr. Larson says legal adult citizens should be the only ones with the option to vote. And that is correct. 100%. Thank you, my man. Wise man. Let's see. You'll probably vote for flirting in office. Whatever gets me there. Otherwise, we can't make a change here in Washington State. Now, we're going to touch a couple of touchy things that some people on the left side are not going to like. They're just not going to like it. It is what it is. It is what it is, but it has to be said. And who else? Samuel, how are you? Good afternoon. I know it's evening for you over there, I think. Either way, it's still good afternoon to everybody. And what do we have? Who else we have? Pamela Hernandez, God bless you, and God bless your family, Pamela. John Anthony says, I'm a voter. I use my vote wisely. I vote conservative. I'm interested in saving the soul of the USA. I agree with you. I am with you on that. God bless Dennis and your channel. Thank you. Thank you, Pamela. I appreciate that. Let's, if you guys haven't hit that like button, go ahead and hit that like button, and let's get this stream going as my Wild and Fresh is popping up in my screen, alerting everybody. And by the way, thank you so much for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. There's a little thing that says subscribe in there. Rhino Raider says, Washington will never turn red, clown. I'm going to tell you something. It's okay. See, here's the thing. A lot of people on the left, well, I'm going to say the libtards only the libtards, have a problem with democracy. Some libtards have a problem with democracy. See, democracy in this country allows us, the people, the American citizens of this country, to vote. This is how we make decisions in our country, by democracy. And when we have democracy, you have to respect it. Otherwise, then we should get rid of it. So a lot of Democrats fight out there, and especially corrupted politician Democrats, they're always going around saying, oh, fight for democracy. They're destroying democracy. Democracy, democracy. Shut the hell up. I'm sick and tired of the Democrats complaining about everything that they say somebody else is doing, but in reality, they are the ones doing it. They are doing everything that they blame us of doing. How about that? It is crazy. The hypocrisy, it's amazing. But we see through all of that. And when they say that they're fighting for democracy, which democracy are you fighting for? Are you fighting for the American people's democracy? Or are you trying to bring in some illegal immigrants and all of your billionaire corrupted friends' democracy? See, I believe that democracy in this constitutional republic belongs to the American citizens. That's it. Nobody else. Whether you're a born citizen or you're a naturalized citizen, you are we the people. How many times do I have to say that? And I really, truly don't understand that people think that the Constitution, even though it says we the people, when it says we the people, it's talking about American citizens. Who's the American citizens? Obviously, those who can vote. They're the only ones. Those are we the people. And it still to this day, it wobbles my mind that people interpret the part where it says persons as in everybody in the world. How does that make sense? How does it make sense? It makes no sense, because the Constitution of the United States of America was written specifically for the United States of America. I also disagree with illegal immigrants just coming to this country, popping a baby, and making anchor babies. And what pisses me off the most about that is that every single dumbass American that supports illegal immigrants, they keep fighting and arguing, oh, don't separate families. Wait a minute. Who's the fool here? But the ones that come here illegally, knowing that there is a punishment for coming here illegally. There is a punishment for coming here illegally. I find it very interesting that people think that they can say whatever the hell they want to us, to American people. That is crazy. So I'm going to say this because when we listen to the Constitution of the United States of America, you have to always remember, we do have state constitutions. We do have state constitutions. But the Constitution of the United States of America overrides all that. I'm going to say this. I'm not going to pretend that I have the whole Constitution memorized. See, I don't even blame Biden for going out there and saying, that, the thing. You know the thing. Oh man, let's take a look. Let me find the Constitution, and why don't we read the Constitution together? Let's take a look. And this is just the opening statement, I believe. But let me just read it. That's so funny, Here, before we do this, let's take a look at this. Listen to this. Who is what does we the people mean? What does it mean, we the people? This is what it says on Google search here. We the people signifies that the United States government's power comes from its citizens. Whoo! That's it. Game over. End of the show. Right there. Boom. Anything that anybody wants to say that persons, which means people, that persons means everybody, including illegal immigrants, is wrong. Look it up. And I'm going to tell you, I am going to join whoever is president and whoever is fighting to denounce any illegal immigrant from having babies over here. Anybody's pregnant at all, 2 months, you got to go. You cannot come to the United States of America, especially if you are more than 3 months pregnant. You stay your ass in your country until you have your baby. Very simple. We will not give asylum to pregnant people. They got to stay in their country, take care of their body, their choice. That's where I'm at with that. It's very interesting. I know the definition has evolved from its original limited scope of white proportion man. That's a little bit racist to put in there. To include all citizens through amendments and social change, affirming that the Constitution serves and it is established by all Americans, not a ruler or elite. I like that. I like that. We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility. I like that. Provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and to our posterity. Do ordain and establish this Constitution of the United States of America. Man, I just, I read these things and I just wonder how is there Americans in this country allowing foreigners to lie to them and to convince them that the Constitution of the United States of America belongs to the world. I don't get it. I don't get it. Now, good afternoon, Brian. How are you? Good to see you in here. Good to see you. You know, I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed, as they say. I'm not the wisest. But doggone it, with the little bit of smartness and wisdom that I have more common sense than every single libtard put together, which is really not saying much, to be honest. They just never leer the right way. Now, I leer a lot. When I was going through high school, I remember, this is how they understand, guys. You know, I remember leering a lot when I was in high school. But these guys, they didn't leer anything. They didn't leer anything at all. John Anthony says the numbers are 10 times that of any other country. Well, I've been saying this for a very long time. Our country has been invaded. Now, let me tell you why our country has been invaded. Now, if you don't like my hat, you're a hypocrite. I got the right, I got the freedom of speech, the freedom to say whatever I want to say, and to express myself the way I want to express myself. If you really truly believe in the First Amendment, you'll shut the hell up about what I'm wearing, unless it's a compliment. Then by all means, say it. All right? That's where I'm at with that. Okay? Number one, stop being a hypocrite. I've been saying this for a very long time. Our country is being invaded. Let me tell you why. We have become the greatest nation, most powerful nation in the world. Up. The most powerful nation in the world. There is nothing, Hammerman, that the ICE agents are doing that is unconstitutional. Nothing. Jason Beatrice says, I'm a white liberal. You're not starting off anything right there, my friend. I put position before principles. Interesting. Hoopty Dennis says, Jason, you're a coward, not a liberal. Oh, man. Brian, Dennis looking extra sharp today. You know what? Today I decided I'm going to get up this morning and we are going to look the part that we're going for. So we have to, hey, thank you for subscribing. Appreciate that. I appreciate that. Yes, Zuzona is doing a great job. Absolutely. 100%. SJ, everybody has the freedom of speech. What I'm saying is this. Listen. I'm not out in public where everybody can comment. This is a channel called Dennis Herrera Show. Okay? Now, in this channel, I got rules. Okay? If you don't like my rules, well, you can simply just go somewhere else. It's very simple. Now, if we're having a debate, and I am allowing you to call in or something like that, and we're having a debate, I'll always request that you keep it respectful. Now, if you're in the midst of something in there, wants to start calling names, I have a lot of names to call. That's fine. I use them all the time. But you have to understand something. You have your freedom of speech, but you don't have your freedom to insult people the way you want to insult them. Unless somebody's insulting you first. Now, with that being said, if I say any bad name, okay, I'm not addressing it to anybody on this chat. But as they say, if the shoe fits, wear it. So I wouldn't expect anybody to respond to any insults that I throw out here. Because you have to understand, there is many people in here that come and go, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. So I'm the only host on this channel. It's just me. So if you're throwing insults at me, well, you're going to get put in timeout or you're going to get kicked, and then you can go find entertainment somewhere else. Okay? So I know it's hard for people to understand that sometimes. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. I do have an admin on on my chat. So if you cross the line, he will block you. Okay? Juan Alberto says, hypocrites want illegals but won't help anybody. Yeah, let's talk about hypocrites. If the hat fits, touche. Let's see what else we got. I saw a comment in here. Let's see. So you have freedom of speech, but okay, I'll explain that one. Yeah. Ignorant people do not read well or uncritically. PT form the prairie in eastern South Dakota. My friend, you're losing me there. Come on, stay with me. Pain Dude says, this guy right here looks more like a damn idiot every day. Wait a minute. I don't see you here every day. How you know? How you know? About carrying guns without a camera to show their every move? What? What are you talking about? Man, you guys, come on, man. All right. I guess the way that I'm going to do this is I'm just going to explain as many points as I can. Let's go ahead and talk about ICE. Okay? Now, ICE was doing a wonderful job at the border. ICE was doing a wonderful job at the border. The Biden administration figured out that the one way that we can stay in power, they say, is by bringing a bunch of illegal immigrants. Let's talk to the Mexican president. Let's talk to the Honduran president. Let's make a wave of illegal immigrants to come to the United States of America. And let's make it so massive that they can't stop anybody. And so while Kamala Harris kept telling us, we, the people, that the border was secure, I don't understand why there is any Democrats left voting for Democrats. 4 years, they said the border is secured. That's right. Mexico's still paying for the border, whether you like it or not. It's what we call tariffs, my friend. Tariffs. You think that we're going to say, okay, Claudia, we're here to collect some money? Are you that retarded, my friend? I'm just saying. If you're not, then great. But if you are retarded, there's nothing I can do to help you. But that's not how they're going to pay for the border. What do you think it means you will pay for it? It doesn't mean that you're going to, oh, wait, how much do you need? There you go. No, that's not how it works. And if that's the way you thought it works, don't have brains. So anywho, so now we have, and I'm starting from the beginning here. I'm starting from the border. Millions and millions, over 21 million that I can tell, right? According to the numbers. Some people say 50, but let's go 21. We got almost 3 million self-deported. Fantastic. Hey, listen, they got their money. They went back home, and they will get a chance. Once everything is fixed, they'll get a chance to be able to apply to come back to this country the right way. And maybe we can get them some green cards. They have to prove that they love and respect this great nation of the United States of America. Okay, number one. Okay, so now that we have an open border from the Biden administration, they told ICE agents, hey, don't stop them. Nope, don't do anything. Let them go. Release the Kraken, they say. So they released them. Some of them didn't even touch the border. They just flew from Mexico directly into some American cities, paid and bought for by the Biden administration with your tax dollars, Americans, your tax dollars. So here we go. We got 4 years of hemorrhage. We're just, man, just everybody's pouring in. Everybody's pouring in. Everybody in the mama bringing all these children. Because the Democrats have figured out that they saw the reaction of Trump 1.0 when he was deporting illegal immigrants. They saw that the card of, oh my God, separating families, they saw that it worked. A lot of us that are wiser know better. It didn't work on us. It worked on the weak-minded Americans, on the gullible. It worked on the libtards, not on us. Not on us, because we know that a country without border and without protection is not a country at all. So we don't fall for that. That's right. Obama did the same thing, my friend. I understand. But we're just going to talk about ourselves. We're going to talk about ourselves. So what happens? Crazy puppet Biden loses against President Donald Trump, even though he tried to sneak in Kamala in there without the people voting for her approval. Kind of squeezed her in there, and she still got her ass kicked by Trump. By the way, we the people whoop that ass. That's how that works. We the people whoop that ass. Oh, yes, Adam. I remember. Oh, man. Alexia Ocasio-Cortez. Oh, my God. And people till this day don't even know. Or even though they know, they just ignore it. They just ignore it. So whether you were a good Democrat before, I'm telling you, join me. Join me and let's make America great again. You say, when was America great? Well, America was great when the border was secure. And right now, the border is secure. But you know why it's not great yet? Because we have a lot of libtards fighting every single day against us. Even though we use democracy as much as they want us to, as much as they fight that democracy is the biggest, most sacred thing to do in this country, we won, and they can't have it. They can't accept it. Because why? Because they're hypocrites. Rules for thee, but none for me. Right, sure. Let's talk about who the real hypocrites are. But I will say this, if you are a Democrat, I understand loyalism. But right now, I am going to repeat this every single day probably. The Democratic Party does not exist anymore. Do you understand? Do you know what commies are? Do you know why commies were always not wanted or welcome in this country? Why is it that now the communists are welcome? Why? You know why? Because the Democrats, fake Democrats are in bed with communists, with China, with Russia, with Venezuela, even with Honduras. That's why they put the Honduran president in jail. They framed him. They set him up. They called him a drug lord. They said that he told Americans that he was going to send thousands of kilos of cocaine and shove them up their noses. That's a lie. I want you to know that. That's a lie. And we got to fight these liars every single day. Every single day we got to fight them. So what happens? We win. By use of democracy, we win. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. That's right. Eat your heart out, because this is my American passport. Now shut the hell up. So now we have President Donald Trump. We put him in office because God allow us to have President Trump 2.0. So what happens? They keep lying to everybody. They keep saying, hey, listen, the reason why that all these people came through the border. Now, mind you, they lied to us for 4 years, and they said the border was secured. But now that Trump was about to win, they said the reason why the border is not secured is because you can't close it. You need Congress to do something. You need this and you need that and blah, blah, blah. And as everybody knows, all we needed was the right president. And President Trump 2.0 came back. But this time, he came back prepared with the tools, with the knowledge, with the power that he knows that he now has as the executive branch, as the commander-in-chief, as the president of the United States of America. He realizes that the power of we, the people, belongs to him. In God we trust that Trump is going to do the right thing by us. Woo! Let's go. Let's go. Not today. Today I'm on fire. Brain is clear. Couple days off. I'm refreshed. Man, how many levels did I clear of that Tetris game? Fantastic. It is great. The mind is clear and I feel awesome. All right, so we go. President Donald Trump gets in office. Border secured. Bam! Another lie. They told you we couldn't secure the border. We needed Congress. We needed this. We needed that. Blah, blah, blah. Nothing that they said was needed. President Donald Trump, a real American hero, is what we, the people, needed. Now, I don't care what anybody says on the left, because let me tell you something. Yeah, let's go ahead and touch up on some jobs. Let's go ahead and jump into the jobs. Here we go. I like it because that falls right next to what I'm saying. We secured the border. Unfortunately, we got millions of illegal immigrants on our country, on this side of the border, inside our country. I want you to tell me, Hammerman, tell me, where do you think all these illegal immigrants got jobs at? And please do tell me, how did they register that they're working when they're illegal, which is illegal to work without a permit? It is fraud if they're using fake papers. Please do tell me how over 21 million illegal immigrants are working and there is no jobs. Right. You see where I'm going with that? All right. We're going to go ahead and leave it there, and then we're going to continue after this speech from beautiful future President of the United States of America, Marco Rubio. While we're watching Marco Rubio, Mr. Dennis here is going to make himself some coffee. Because life is coffee. I don't see Robert. I hope Robert is doing good. Everybody, please pray for our brother Robert that he's doing okay. All right, I want to go ahead and mute my microphone. Hopefully, I remember to unmute. We're going to listen to our dear friend Marco Rubio, whom I hope is going to be our next president. Maybe J.D. Vance first, but I hope that Marco Rubio gets to be president this round or at least the second round around. I think Marco Rubio is doing fantastic. Just fantastic. All right, let me go ahead and put in here, remind you guys to hit that like and subscribe button. There we go. Let me get some audio in here.
A president trying to end a war. Usually when you're trying to end wars, the international community applauds you. This is one of the few wars I've ever seen where some people in the international community condemn you for trying to help end a war. But that's what we're trying to do. That's what we're going to continue to do as long as our role is and our engagement is a positive one. And hopefully the war will end. The sooner the better. It should have ended a long time ago. It should have never actually happened. This war should have never happened. This war would have never happened if Donald Trump had been president of the United States at the time it began. But you know, that's what happened, and so now here we are. So we're going to continue to do everything we can to try to bring it to an end, and if we can be successful at it, I think the world will be a better place, and if we can't, then unfortunately the suffering and the dying and the killing will continue, and that's not good for anybody, but that's where we find ourselves. So hopefully we can stop it, but let's see.
Next is CBS News, please, Olivia.
Thank you very much. Budapest is, in fact, beautiful. Mr. Secretary, on the notion of a golden age, why isn't the United States conditioning deeper cooperation with Budapest on Hungary reducing its extensive and ongoing deepening cooperation with China, which is a strategic rival for the United States? Secondly, if, despite President Trump's endorsement and your visit here, Prime Minister Orban does not succeed and loses the April election, does the U.S. commit to working with his challenger constructively? Prime Minister Orban, do you commit to accepting electoral defeat if it happens? And to both of you, Prime Minister Orban has said that the exemption that Hungary has been granted for Russian energy purchases is indefinite. The U.S. has said it was for 1 year. Which one is it? Thank you.
All right, well, let me start by answering that question. First of all, so everybody can be very clear. I've made this point repeatedly. I'll make it again. Under President Trump, it is our expectation that every nation on earth is going to act in their national interest. That's what nations are supposed to do. If the Prime Minister of Hungary does not act in the national interest of Hungary, he won't be Prime Minister for long. But who's going to act in the national interest of Hungary if their prime minister doesn't do it? If your government is not acting in your national interest, then who will? By the way, we feel the same way about America. So in those instances in which our national interest and some other country's national interests are aligned, that is an opportunity for extraordinary partnership. And we have many, many areas where our national interests are aligned. Where they're not aligned or where we have some differences, that's where that alignment and the other issues, that's where this relationship, that's where these deep ties to one another are so important, because that's where you can find accommodation, that's where you can hear each other out, that's where maybe you can work together on. But we're not asking any country in the world to isolate themselves from anybody. We understand that every country in the world has to deal with the reality of their geography, of their economy, of their history, and of the challenges of their future. We will obviously share with partners and friends concerns we may have about certain things, but as an example, the United States, you mentioned China as an example, okay? We have trade and relations with China. The President of the United States is going to travel in April to China. Why? Because China's a big country. It's got 1 billion-something people, second largest economy in the world. They have nuclear weapons. It would be crazy. Okay, it's insane for the United States and China not to have relations and interact with one another. Now, two big countries like this, do we have differences? We absolutely do. And we'll have to manage those differences. And some of those differences are things we've spoken very frankly and clearly and repeatedly about the fact that it is not good for the world. It's not good for anybody to rely on one country or one economy for 90% of anything, especially things like critical supply chains. This is a reality. We want to diversify supply chains around the world. We've spoken clearly about it. That's not an anti-China thing. That's just the reality that overdependence on one source is not good. and especially when there's been a willingness in the past to use it as leverage against each other. But we pursue these things within the context of the U.S. national interest. And that's why we met with the Chinese in South Korea earlier in the year, and were able to reach an understanding on some trade matters. That was a mutual interest between us and them. So geopolitics is difficult because it requires a little bit of maturity and seriousness. Okay? It requires a little bit of seriousness about these things have real implications, and the balancing of relations between nation states requires maturity and seriousness. So our relationship here, you asked the last question about it. Look, I'm just telling you guys what it is. Okay? The president has an extraordinarily close relationship to the prime minister. He does, and it has had tangible benefits in our relationship. I'm not going to speculate about the future. You know, what happens in this country is up to the voters of this country to determine and decide, and we love the people of Hungary. But there's no reason to sugarcoat it. I'm going to be very blunt with you. The prime minister and the president have a very, very close personal relationship and working relationship, and I think it has been beneficial to the relationship of our two countries. What's that? I'm sorry? The sanctions waiver on Russian energy purchases? Yeah, but here's the way I would couch that. Those sanctions waivers happened as much as anything else because of the relationship between the prime minister and the president. And so I think all I can tell you is that relationship and the importance of that relationship and the importance of that relationship to our bilateral relationship underpins the decision the president made. And I think we'll continue to underpin it as long as that relationship is a factor in our bilateral relations.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. So the answer to your question, for those who are relatively young, it's difficult to know the Hungarian modern political history. But if you look at it carefully, you see that I am not just registered as the longest-serving prime minister in Europe, which means 20 years, but I'm the longest-serving leader of the opposition with 16 years, So I spent 16 years as leader of opposition. What does it mean? It means that sometimes I lose, sometimes I win. So don't afraid what will be if we are not winning, because it's regularly happened here, at least 4 times already. So there is no need to be afraid what will happen in Hungary. The Hungarian democracy is very strong. And the government of this country is very strongly believe on democracy and competitiveness and competition in politics as well, as we have done in the last 35 years. So our record is very strong on the governmental side and on opposition side as well. So government will be created after the election in Hungary based on the intention of the Hungarian people, and Hungary as a country will remain strong anyway.
Köszönöm szépen, az Indexet kérem következően.
Good morning. I'm Balázs Koroczkai from Index. I will ask my question in English because I think it's easier for you.
In English than in Hungarian, absolutely. You can ask it in Spanish, and that's maybe Italian. I might be able to pick it up too.
Unfortunately, my Spanish is not so good.
Okay.
So, Mr. Prime Minister, you mentioned the invitation of President Trump. I have a question for both of you. Have been any discussion regarding a potential visit by President Trump? And if so, when might it take place, and will it be a peace summit? And a brief question is, have there been any progress toward the new Hungarian US tax treaty? Because the last one is terminated 2 years ago. Thank you.
Yeah, on the visit, I don't have any news for you on it today, other than I know the president would love to come, and I know the president would love to be here. Obviously, like any world leader, there's a lot of balancing going on, but we'll see what happens. I mean, the president has made very clear his feelings about the prime minister, both on a personal and on a political level, in terms of the relationship and the impact it's had on us. And so I'm certainly here today, because I wanted to make sure that, having been in Munich for the security conference, being so close by, we saw an opportunity to be here today and build on that historic gathering that we had. I don't have any updates for you on the tax treaty per se today, but we may soon. Something we'll look at.
Magyarul csak annyit válaszolnék, ha megengedi, hogy szóval nem érdemes hosszú távú előretervezést elvárni a mostani nemzetközi politikában. Például az, hogy ezen a héten csütörtökön mi Washingtonban fogunk találkozni az Egyesült Államok elnökével, ez 2 héttel ezelőtt még nem volt benne a naptárban. Csak azt akarom mondani, hogy úgy zajlanak az események, olyan a nemzetközi politikának a sodrása, hogy itt 3-4 nap alatt történhetnek jelentős változások. Például a Sharm el-Sheikben, amikor összehívták a béketanács megalakulásához vezető első nagy tanácskozást, azt is 2 vagy 3 nappal korábban lehetett csak biztosra venni. Tehát a nemzetközi politikában ma nem a hosszú távú tervezés, hanem a gyors reagálás az igazi erény. És az amerikaiak ebben nagyon jók, ebben a gyors reagálásban.
Engage himself in peacemaking and in ending wars, that's usually applauded. So this is one of the few times, for a lot of different reasons, I don't know what they may be, but maybe I can speculate what they are, where people actually criticize a president trying to end a war. Usually when you're trying to end wars, the international community applauds you. This is one of the few wars I've ever seen where some people in the international community condemn you for trying to help end a war. But that's what we're trying to do. That's what we're going to continue to do as long as our role is and our engagement is a positive one. And hopefully the war will end. The sooner the better. It should have ended a long time ago. It should have never actually happened. This war should have never happened. This war would have never happened if Donald Trump had been president of the United States at the time it began. But you know, that's what happened, and so now here we are. So we're going to continue to do everything we can to try to bring it to an end. And if we can be successful at it, I think the world will be a better place. And if we can't, then unfortunately the suffering and the dying and the killing will continue, and that's not good for anybody, but that's where we find ourselves. So hopefully we can stop it, but let's see.
Next is CBS News, please, Olivia.
Thank you very much.
Herrera, bro, I don't know who the hell you think you're talking to here, bro. We know those lines that you're using. We know your stupid nonsense, illogical way of thinking. I've explained that 2,000%, 1,000% down. If you don't understand what that is, and I know it seems very illogical to you, but I don't think you understand what that means. So I'm not even going to try to explain it. I'm just going to say it one time. Okay, we were paying 2,000% more than somebody else was. Do the math.
Much. Budapest is, in fact, beautiful. Mr. Secretary, on the notion of a golden age, why isn't the United States conditioning deeper cooperation with Budapest on Hungary reducing its extensive and ongoing deepening cooperation with China, which is a strategic rival for the United States? Secondly, if, despite President Trump's endorsement and your visit here, Prime Minister Orban does not succeed and loses the April election, does the U.S. commit to working with his challenger constructively? Prime Minister Orban, do you commit to accepting electoral defeat if it happens? And to both of you, Prime Minister Orban has said that the exemption that Hungary has been granted for Russian energy purchases is indefinite. The U.S. has said it was for 1 year. Which one is it? Thank you.
Ma nem a hosszú távú tervezés, hanem a gyors reagálás az igazi erény. És az amerikai...
Man, somebody was making fun of my yellow teeth. I think that guy has yellow teeth.
Ebben nagyon jók, ebben a gyors reagálásban. Az, hogy most nem tudunk semmi biztosat, nem jelenti azt, hogy nem fog megtörténni. Sőt, lehet, hogy pont az ellenkezőjét jelenti. Minél kevésbé tudunk, ha biztosan, annál valószínűbb, hogy megtörténik. Ezt se zárjuk ki. Hát így állunk.
Köszönöm. Az utolsó kérdést a Reutersnek adom.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. Good to see you, Mr. Prime Minister. Two questions, Mr. Secretary. Iran is pursuing a nuclear agreement with the U.S. that it says would deliver economic benefits for both sides. Is that acceptable for the U.S., even if it doesn't cover Tehran's ballistic missile program? Recently, a U.S. immigration judge has ruled that there were no grounds to deport Tufts University student who wrote an op-ed on Gaza. A second judge said using deportation as a threat violated the First Amendment rights of people like her, because those rights apply to foreigners. What is your response to that? And Mr. Prime Minister, I just wanted to follow up on the China angle. Secretary just spoke about balancing relationships. You've been pushing a lot for more Chinese investments in Hungary. How will you make sure that that does not create a problem in your relationship with Washington? Thank you.
Yeah, on the two questions you asked, first of all, on the particular case of the student, look, my job at the State Department is if I identify someone who I believe is present, someone who's a visitor, a guest to the United States, and we identify that their presence in our country poses a threat to our foreign policy, to our national security, we're gonna take that person's visa away. We're gonna take their visa away. That's what we're gonna do. We've done that in a lot of cases over the last year. We've done it. Fact is that, you know, visas are not a right. I've said this repeatedly. I don't know why it's so hard for some to comprehend it, so let me repeat it again. A visa, no one's entitled to a visa. There is no constitutional right to a visa. Okay, a visa is a permission to enter our country as a visitor. If you enter our country as a visitor, and as a visitor in our country, be it a student, a tourist, a journalist, whatever you want to be, and you undertake activities that are against the national interest and national security of the United States, we will take away your visa. In fact, if we knew you were going to do it, we probably wouldn't have given you your visa. That's what we do. The decision to remove someone from our country after we take away our visa, you know, that belongs to other agencies of our government. As far as judges are concerned, you know, judges, you know, that's a different branch of government. They're not going to tell us how to conduct the foreign policy of the United States. If they have an issue with the process by which someone was removed, then obviously that's an issue for other agencies in our government that are involved in enforcing that. All I can opine to you on is taking away someone's visas. And no judge is going to tell the executive branch how to conduct foreign policy, because that's not up to judges, that's up to the executive branch. On your first question about Iran, look, doing a deal with Iran is not easy. I said it yesterday, I'll repeat it again today. I mean, we have to understand that Iran ultimately is governed, and its decisions are governed by Shia clerics, radical Shia clerics, okay? These people make policy decisions on the basis of pure theology. That's how they make their decisions. So it's hard to do a deal with Iran. We've always said it's hard, but we're going to try. That's what the president is trying. I'm not going to prejudge those talks. I'm certainly not going to negotiate with Iran here in front of the press and on the stage. Our negotiators are on their way there now. They'll have meetings. We'll see what happens. We're hopeful there's a deal. The president always prefers peaceful outcomes and negotiated outcomes to things. He's a president that's shown his willingness to talk to anyone and meet with anyone. And I think if there's an opportunity here to diplomatically reach an agreement that addresses the things we're concerned about, we will be very open and welcoming to that. But I don't want to overstate it either. It's going to be hard. I mean, we're dealing, you know, it's been very difficult for anyone to do real deals with Iran because we're dealing with radical Shia clerics who are making theological decisions, not geopolitical ones. But let's see what happens. I hope it works out. We all hope it works out.
Válaszoltok magyarul, ugye? May I answer in Hungarian? Okay. Van egy tény, amit minden nemzetközi kapcsolatunkban figyelembe kell venni. A sági kérdésekben megbeszéljük. Ha egyenesen és nyíltan megmondasz mindent. Tehát mi nyílt lapokkal játszunk.
God, Hungary is so boring. Sorry, guys. I didn't mean to torture you with those 5 minutes there. I do have a better video. And, of course, we're going to have the Crime Shaft towards the end of our show. I do want to add this from Fox and Friends first. I want to listen to this. It's only 3 minutes. Hang in there. Hang in there. Welcome, Red Hood, and welcome everybody that's joining in here. Thank you for stopping by. If you are kind enough, please like the video. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. This is where we're going to go ahead and have conservative talks, a little bit of religion, a lot of politics, and some story time. Okay? I am neither here nor there, but I pretend to like everybody. So hopefully we all end up getting together and working to make this country better. Yes, I said pretend because it's not easy to love some of the libtards that just hate us so much. I do love everybody. That's a whole different thing. That's a commandment from my God, to love my neighbor as he loved me. Not my sin, not their sin. I want you to know that you are supposed to love your neighbor, but you are not to do as they do or allow them to do as they do in your house. You got to have some common sense and some self-respect.
Uniting and bashing President Trump's leadership.
Now let me throw you in here before we listen to that. Listen, hey, every American has an accent. Mr. Goja, every American has an accent. If I have an accent, they can come and check for this. That's okay. We have been invaded. We have been invaded in this country. The least that we can do as citizens is do our part and cooperate and tell ICE agents that we appreciate what they do. It's enough of this nonsense. But don't worry, we'll get back to the immigration case. AOC, Gavin Newsom. I'm going to tell you something. There is the stupidest thing that I have ever witnessed in my whole entire life when it comes to governments. Who the hell in their right mind in any time in our history knows, let me calm down for this one. We have a democracy. We have a constitutional republic. We the people. We selected President Donald Trump. He's doing a phenomenal job, etc. Why is our own kind, per se, why is it our own people trying to destroy us to the world? What in the right mind? Who in the right mind is going to bring all the issues of their family and tell their neighbors who hate them? If you have an issue in your family, you got a black sheep, so to speak. Like me, I was a black sheep because I'm different than everybody else. I love this country, of course, but I'm the black sheep because I'm the one that rebels against just what I'm told. I got to be able to discern. I got to be able to debate myself with the information that is given to me, and then I got to make a decision. I don't think like a lot of people want me to think. I think of independence thinking. I like to use some critical thinking. I like to say the side A and side B, and I would like to be able to make my own decisions on what I see. But tell me, you and your family, let's say if you are a family-oriented person, you know what I'm talking about. But let's say you and your family, you guys are united. You guys are fighting, blah, 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 right? And I say this to people. Listen, I can beat up my brother, but you cannot. Nobody else can yell at my brothers. Only I can. You understand? Nobody can hit my brothers except me. I'm the only one. That's as simple as that. You protect your family. You defend your family. Always. So I'm going to ask you, if you have a family and you guys are very united, but you have fights, but you love each other, every single one of your neighbors doesn't like your family. They don't like you. They don't like you or your family. They don't like you because they don't like what you stand for. Now tell me, why would you, in your right mind, go to those neighbors and tell them how horrible your brother is? Tell them how sleazy your sister is just because you have a fight with them. See, you're going to be able to fix that relationship with your brothers, with your family, but you're not going to be able to convince their enemies, the people that don't like you, the people that stand against your family. You're not going to be able to convince them that everything you say was, oh, I was just mad in the moment. It doesn't mean anything. You won't be able to. With that being said, listen to what Newsom says. And I know some libtards get really sensitive when I use names like that, but listen to these guys. They're talking against us. They forget that we voted. They forget that we put President Donald Trump in office. They forget that we are the United States of America. Listen how they talk about us. When they talk about my president, they're talking about me.
On the stage at the Munich Security Conference over the weekend, take a listen.
Donald Trump is doubling down on stupid. He's trying to recreate the 19th century. His code red in terms of American leadership in this space.
In the West, we'd look the other way for inconvenient populations, whether it is threatening our allies to colonize Greenland, whether it is looking the other way.
Joining us now, Young Voices fellow Maggie Anders. Maggie, did any of that?
Let me, how stupid do they sound? Can you understand that? And why the hell are they there? talking to the world to hate us more. What are they trying to gain by telling the world that? Seriously, nobody's oppressing us. Nobody's taking away our freedoms. Nobody's taking away our rights. Everything is great in our country, besides some mental ill people that don't want to accept things the way they are. We are doing a lot better with President Donald Trump, and I don't understand why the people on the left just don't want to see that. See, even though I didn't like Biden, I always look for something good to come out of something. But instead, we have the destructive border czar, Kamala, lying to us every day that the border is secure, and it wasn't. And yet, none of the Democrats or the leftist people on the other side say anything about that. But we'll get back to immigration.
That come off as presidential?
Absolutely not. And I just have to say, clearly Munich was the Democrats' first campaign stop this year. And I have to say, AOC for me came in dead last. She completely flubbed this question about Taiwan and came off as completely unserious. It's clear to me that Democrats want the US and Europe to go back to a foreign policy of self-hatred.
So Secretary of State Marco Rubio also spoke at this conference. His message was very well received by many. Ran about 20 minutes, but take a listen to a portion of what he had to say.
We in America have no interest in being polite and orderly caretakers of the West's managed decline. What we want is a reinvigorated alliance that recognizes that what has ailed our societies is not just a set of bad policies, but a malaise of hopelessness and complacency. An alliance is the alliance that we want is one that is not paralyzed into inaction by fear. Fear of climate change, fear of war, fear of technology. Instead, we want an alliance that boldly races into the future.
So he talked about national pride and how a strong Europe means a strong America and how our partnership together is so important. Compare and contrast, if you could for us, Maggie, those messages that we just heard.
Absolutely. Well, AOC showed up to Munich and basically told the world that America is horrible, that we're doing atrocities in Gaza, and this question about Taiwan, she completely flubbed. Taiwan is responsible for so much of our economy working. It's clear that these Democrats, especially AOC, are not serious contenders in the future. Marco Rubio and President Trump have really reinvigorated American foreign policy and shown us that we need to be proud on the world stage and take responsibility for uplifting society again.
You saw an applause there, standing ovation, if you will, in the 15 seconds we have remaining. Is Europe finally getting it, Maggie?
I think so, and I think people don't want to be self-hating anymore, and that really was the policy of Europe for so long. And I just remember when JD gave his speech maybe a year ago, and things have really turned around since then.
Yeah, it was at this very conference where he made that speech that you're talking about. So we're talking about a lot of potential 28 contenders with potential Vance Rubio ticket. And on the other side, you got Gavin Newsom and AOC. We shall see. Maggie, thank you so much for joining us.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the...
I want you to understand that this all has to do with all the illegal immigration. AOC's Photoshop crying of children in cages, which, by the way, Obama put in first. We talked about the millions of people that pour through our border after Kamala Harris and the Biden fake administration told us that it was secured. Now, a lot of people come in here and they say, well, where is the millions of jobs, Dennis? And to my response was, where is the millions of illegal immigrants working? And can you track them? Can you track millions of illegal immigrants working without papers? Now I want to say something. It wobbles my mind to hear Americans, and maybe it's not Americans. I do know some Americans in person. it destroys me to see how ignorant some people are on immigration. Stop changing the subject, Daniel and Ricky. Pay attention. You might learn something today. You guys stand for illegal immigration. Let me back up a little bit. You come in here, you say, where's the files? You defend pedophiles. You act as if you care about innocent children's life. But you guys are the ones who want rapists, murderers, criminal illegal immigrants to be in this country. So tell me who is defending pedophiles? You. Who is defending the cartels? You. Who is defending 400,000 children being trafficked illegally? Human trafficking? You. You are the people. The same hypocrites that dare come in my channel and tell me that I'm defending a pedophile. You guys are the same people who defend any illegal criminal going through the border, and then yet you sit here to release the Epstein files. 4 million documents released. Nothing says President Donald Trump is a pedophile. Now what? Now what? We got the border secured. Over 20% of deaths have gone down due to drugs. President Donald Trump did that. Crime is down in many cities because of Trump's action. 100%, whether you like it or not. My gas just went up, back to $4. You know why? Because the new taxes that the Democrat governor has put in our state just kicked in. Imagine that. Imagine the hypocrisy when you tell me, oh, tariffs is a tax. It's horrible. It's destroying businesses. Well, son of a bitch. Isn't taxes destroying us? The American people, the civilians, the ones who work their ass off to make that money. Isn't local taxes destroying the American people as well? According to your logic. I don't believe tariffs are bad. Tariffs are a good thing. It is a good negotiating tool. And tariffs is supposed to take care of the federal government. And yet, libtards don't understand. Why is it that every time that I hear President Donald Trump saying, I want to get rid of federal taxes, the libtards go crazy? Ah, he's lying. Ah, governors, please add more taxes on the people. Come on, man. You bitch and complain about the economy. Do something. Complain to the person in charge of your local economy. Back to illegal immigrants. The first argument that the leftists have done is said, oh my God, are you happy with just 500,000 jobs being created in 25? My question was, are you happy with the millions of illegals of immigrants working in this country fraudulently, illegally? How many of those jobs do you think American people would be getting? Many argue that because of illegal immigrants in this country, well, we're doing fantastic. No, we're not. We were doing just fine before millions of illegal immigrants invaded our country. Let me tell you what that pisses me off. I know a lot of my people have been waiting years, some decades, to get off DACA and become residents, become permanent resident aliens. But because of millions of illegal immigrants, it's not possible. And some of them got deported. We ain't going out like that. We're not going out like that. So stop complaining and bitching about the millions of jobs that Trump did not create in 2025, because you don't say one peep about the millions of illegal immigrants that come to work here illegally. Not only that, how many of those have children? You don't think. Think about it. You got millions and millions of illegal immigrants coming into this country. Wait for it. We got 21 million illegal immigrants. Most of them, I saw them in their 20s. In their 20s, male and female. Give them a child each. Double that amount. Give them 3 children. Give them 5 children. Give them 6 children, 7 children, 8 children. How many millions more do you now have? That destroys the economy. That does not help the economy. Because you see, we have a broken welfare system that tells the American people, which is why the Big Beautiful Bill was introduced. The Big Beautiful Bill tells Americans, knock it off. No more late. Get a part-time job. 20 hours a week, and you can still qualify for your welfare, for your free health care that you want. But you got to work 20 hours a week. So we have a broken welfare system because people have been abusing it. On top of that, they don't want to work at all. On top of that, they are bringing in millions of illegal immigrants, which I don't care what the leftist says. We have a lot of people that can tell us that they've been getting welfare and health care, free hotel stays, and an EBT card, a debit card, cash. Cash. Let's talk about Chicago. The Chicago people, the real citizens of Chicago, are beautiful African American people. Even they are complaining that they have to work 2 to 3 jobs. And yet illegal immigrants come in here, they get to stay in a hotel, they get free food stamps, they get free cash. These people come to your country and they don't even know where to go. Let me just go ahead and reiterate what our immigration laws are for. Immigration is respected across the world. I don't know about North Korea, but you know what I'm saying? But here, in this part of the world, it's respected. Let me tell you why we have rules in immigration. We want to make sure that our resources are spent well. If I'm going to come into this country, what can I do to help? Not what can I take from you. See, if I see somebody that comes over here and says, oh, I just came to work. I just came to work because I'm a hard worker. Before you tell me that you're a hard worker, number one, I don't believe you. I don't believe you. You got to prove yourself. How do you prove yourself? Well, here we go. Let's get you vetted. Let's get a background check. Let's get a health ground check. I don't know if that's the word. Huh? Think with logic. Use common sense. All right, what can you do? What's your education? Oh, I dropped out of high school, out of 2nd grade. What? So what are you? A laborer? Yeah, we don't need that. Thank you. We have enough uneducated people in America. We have a lot of your children here that dropped out of high school and become gangbangers. Yeah, they can be laborers, and we need to make sure that we change that. What do you have? Well, I'm an engineer. Hey, listen, if you've passed the background check, why don't you come on in and visit? Maybe you can stay here with us. The immigration laws are created with requirements, with requisites. If you come into this country, we are not the world's welfare. This is why people bitch about the Somalis in Minnesota. 82% of Somalis have been in welfare for over 10 years. How much money is being taken out of taxpayer dollars? Give me that. The Statue of Liberty. Give me you're hungry and you're poor and you're weary. Listen, we can do all that. But this country has been established. This country is not looking for more migrants that just weary and hard. But we're not looking for that no more. The United States of America has reached a level of strength and power that now we need to have people that will make us better. And let me give you the biggest proof that I am right, that illegal immigration is wrong. Look what they do to our ICE agents on the streets now. The Biden administration allowed for millions of illegal immigrants and even flew these illegals and spread them out throughout the country, thinking that Trump was not going to go after them. Think about that. Look what they do to our ICE agents. Don't even go too far. Just look in the chat. Look in the chat. Look in the chat and you can see why illegal immigration is wrong and is bad for us. Because of the excuse of, oh, they're just hard workers. They're out there stoning our ICE agents. They are out there destroying property, businesses. Because of illegal immigrants, these people are so libtarded. They don't know what the hell they're doing. But there's my biggest proof. And the more illegal immigrants that have been allowed, the biggest the manifestation has been. All the illegal immigrants on my chat, they don't like the fact that they can't have one of these. It is a privilege. It is not a human right for you to get a visa to come to this country. It is a privilege. My mother understood this. In the early 80s, people will talk about getting pregnant and come to the United States of America just to have anchor babies. My mother said, no, that's not how it goes. You got to respect immigration. You just have to understand something. My mother was a very political person. She supported our nation. She was a nationalist. She put Honduras first every step of the way. And that included respecting the laws of the United States of America. And she said, if one day we are going to go to the United States of America, we will do it by God's will and the authorization of the United States of America. Now, let me tell you something. I have here a beautiful passport. I'm going to show you an empty page. Empty page of the Founding Fathers. I don't know if you can see that. Of the Founding Fathers. But this is a privilege to have. A privilege. You know what you should have if you are illegal in this country? Shame is what you should have. You know why? Because you're breaking the law. And you're proud of it. Not only are you proud of it, you're disrespecting us. Every migrant that came here the right way and became an American citizen, not because they demanded it, but because we earned it. We were seen worthy of becoming American citizens. And so I can have a good pride of being an American citizen. But you, if you're illegal, you should have shame. You should have shame to go on the streets. When they say, show me proof of citizenship. Oh, no sé, ¿qué pasa? La migra, la migra, la migra. That's all I hear. Not only are they illegal and shameless people, but they disrespect us. They disrespect our country. They spit on our flag. They burn our flag. And they raise their international flag on American soil just to tell you how stupid you are as an American. Now tell me you like that. If you like to be slapped around and called Zusi, that's you. But I am nobody's bitch. My mother came to this country the right way. legally. Waited 5 years, 5 years, before she can come and get me and my sister. We had to suffer 5 years without our mother. My mother was everything for me. Everything. I lost my father when I was 4 years old. So my mother meant everything for me. And she's the one that told me to respect the law. Showed me to be a real man. All the consequences of the bad things that have happened in my life, my decisions, my stupidity, my unwise self did all those mistakes. So I will not allow my children to do that. But my mother came back 5 years later. She says, we're going to go to the United States of America. And I said, no, I don't want to go. Well, she's the mother. I have no say. I got to do what she says. Something that some morons in this country don't know about. They allow their children to be mutilated. They have allowed their children to become the parents. And the parents have been the useless children. Well, not in my house. My mother came here and we went to the United States Embassy at the capital, Tegucigalpa, in Honduras. And we went over there and we stayed the night at this hotel. And the water was freaking freezing. It was very cold. The capital of Honduras is cooler than any other part of the world, in the country. We got to the embassy. We waited in line for 4 to 5 hours. Before sunrise, we were there. Now imagine a mother with a 13-year-old boy. Well, I was already a young teenager, I guess, a young man. And my sister was already 16. We're waiting there, and we get inside. We go inside, and my mother shows everything that she has. I got a residency. I got this job. I make this much every month. I can sustain my children. We're not going to be on welfare. Blah, blah, blah. She went to the whole spew, and they said, hey, get the hell out of here. No, nothing. And my mother was like, brokenhearted. Wait a minute. I'm a citizen. I'm a citizen. And I thought, what the hell? I don't know what that means. Well, I think she says citizen, but I think she was just a resident alien card holder. That's what it was. She said, I'm a green card holder. I'm a resident alien. And so they told her that we needed to be vetted. You cannot come in and want to come to the country, even though you can afford to come into the country and take care of them. You don't have any health, history. So we have to get an x-ray. We have to get our vaccinations in order. We have to get a history of the property. Did we have land here? Blah, 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 everything. We came back a second time. They told us. They look at the passport. They look at the paperwork. They said, okay, blah, blah. He grabbed the passport, the Honduras passport, put it to the side. Next, come back at 4 p.m. When they said that, even at 13 years old, I already knew the scoop. If they tell you to come back in the afternoon, start doing the dance, because that means that you got a visa. What a great feeling to know that even though I come from a third world country, you guys seen it. Some of you guys laughed at my Honduras when I was live, and they called it a third world shithole country. And I said, yes, but it's my third world shithole country, and I love it, and it looks beautiful to me. And yes, I want to go back. But it's not my will. It's God's will. That's why I'm an American citizen with a purpose. And if Washington State wants to stay blue, let them. But at least I can go in peace to say that I did my part as a migrant who came here, respected the law, became a resident, and then became a citizen after 25 years. I think I earned becoming an American citizen. And so all these illegal immigrants that have come here and have pushed everybody out of the line so that they can be here, selfish people. I don't care the need. Those people before them had a need as well. And they have the right to get in the front of the line, not in the back. Something that you guys won't understand on the left side. Get your demonic self out of my chat. Bye, Jay. Get the hell out of here. Holman, take care of this guy. Bye, Felicia. That's you, libtard. Get the hell out of my chat, bro. Don't come over here with some demonic shit, okay? Don't bring demonic stuff over here in my chat. So anyway, so my mother finally brings us over here. Of course, she already put in for our green card to come through. I started going to school after 6 months in school. We get an interview. They say a final interview for a green card. We have been approved, pre-approved. We had to fly back to Honduras, so we did. I asked a couple of weeks from my teachers because, we just finished football. But I asked for a couple of weeks vacation, and I needed to get back to the country. Wait, that's not right. No. It was summer. Yeah, it was summer our time here. It was summer. There was no school, but school was about to start, and football was going to start. Now, mind you, 6 months. We got our interview. My mother, me, and my sister, we flew to Honduras. Why do I say people got to speak English? Check this out. I go over there, do the whole thing. We spend the night. We get up early in the morning before sunrise. We waited 4 or 5 hours. We go inside. We're still in line, and then we talk to the consulate of the United States of America, and he says, "Why do you want to be in the United States of America?" And I said, "Sir, good morning. Thank you for seeing us today. We appreciate the privilege that we have to be here, and we appreciate everything that the United States of America has to offer for us. My mother has taught my sister. Mind you, I am the youngest. My mother's there. She speaks very little English. My sister's there. She speaks very little English. And here is this 13-year-old, after 6 months in school, speaking English. Not in Spanish. In English. Heavy accent, I'm sure. Heavier than I have now. And I said, "Sir, I love the United States of America." I said, "I want to live in Honduras, but my mother works in America. And I got 2 weeks so that I can get back because I'm playing football." Thank you, Liz. Thank you, Ilse. "I'm playing football, and I want to go back to school." He just smiled at me. He says, "Thank you for coming in. Come back later today, this afternoon." Woo! Let's go! Man, my mother, my sister, and the people that were helping us go over there, we were doing the dance. Bam, bam, bam. We were doing the dance. When I came back, my Honduras passport said resident alien. Bam! Right there, the whole stamp. All I had to do was wait a few weeks in the mail, and I got my green card. What a great time. That is how you come to this country, respecting the law, believing in God, but respecting the law of the land. I will never forget that experience. It's fantastic. Maybe I missed some details, but I remember that. I remember that, and I appreciate it. With that being said, every single one of the illegal immigrants that come to this country, unless if you are an illegal immigrant and you're a Christian, first of all, let me tell you, you shouldn't be here. But I will tell the rest of the world that those illegal immigrants who are Christians would not talk bad to me. They will have respect. They will have respect. And if you don't have respect and call yourself a Christian, then you're not a Christian at all. For if you believe that you're a Christian, then you have a great God. The same God that I worship, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. See, you don't like me because I have privilege. You don't like me because I am favored by God. You don't like it because I have the right to be here in this country. And yet you say nothing about illegal immigrants carrying weapons, carrying guns. Every day it seems like I see those innocent illegal immigrants being caught with coke, with fentanyl, with drugs, with guns. Isn't that something? You know why I respect the law? You know why I earned my way into this country? Because I listened to my mother. She was a woman with good morals. If you are in this chat, you got to learn something. But you got to learn it for yourself. I can't convince you. I can't tell you what to do. Now, with that being said, that's my story of being in this country. After 25 years, I became an American citizen. Probably a little bit longer, because it was 2.5 decades after I became a resident green card holder. But I always believe I should not be an American citizen unless I am really going to fight for this country. So I did. And when I made my oath, it was so fantastic. I'm going to tell you something. I'm a little bit shameful, to be honest. This is what happened at the ceremony. When I became an American citizen, there was this tall, about 6'8", African man. I think he was from Ghana. I don't know, Africa. But I think it was Ghana. I'm sitting there with my 3-piece suit, looking sharp. They asked me some questions about the Constitution. They asked me some questions about the representatives, the branches of government. Choco, time out for 30 minutes for misbehaving. Go to the corner and think about what you did wrong. I'm sitting there on a 3-piece suit looking sharp with more hair. Looking sharp, so proud that I am going to make an oath to become an American citizen. When we stand up to make the oath, many, listen to me, many Middle Eastern people were on the right side of us. Some of them were laying down on the benches. Shameful. Shameful. Some of them were laying down on the benches. No spamming. Time out for 10 minutes. Go to the corner and think about what you did wrong. And the African man stands up, chest out, tears. And I looked at him. Whoa, man, this guy is really proud of becoming an American citizen. And I thought to myself, wait a minute, I'm proud. I felt shame. I was so ashamed. Like, this guy has such a strong aura. He was so proud to become American. This is the people that we want in this country. Not the people that were over there laying on the bench. They couldn't even stand up to the American flag. President Donald Trump says, welcome to the United States of American citizenship. Woo! And since then, I support President Donald Trump. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. That African man make me look bad, because that, my friend, showed what real pride on being an American citizen really is all about. God bless him and his family. I hope he's doing good. Back to immigration. So a lot of people complain about affordability. They complain about affordability and they wonder why. Why is it so expensive? And then I noticed, because people fight me on this. People fight me on this, but it's the truth. 21 plus million illegal immigrants. Let me tell you something. In the last 10 years, the Hispanic population in Washington state has grown tremendously. Almost everywhere you go now, there is Hispanic people everywhere. It wasn't like that before. Now, don't get me wrong. I love my Hispanic people, but I'm just saying, millions of illegal immigrants cross the border. It's not coincidence that the population in Washington state, Oregon, and California has multiplied dramatically, drastically. It's not coincidence. It is a fact that it has been multiplied greatly. And then you wonder why housing is so expensive. There is no housing. There's too many people. The freeways are congested almost like California now in Washington state. Used to be that in the morning, traffic will go one way. In the evening, traffic will go another way. Now, it doesn't matter what time you get on the freeway. It's just like California. It doesn't matter when or what day or what time. There is a lot of freaking traffic, and that is no coincidence. I don't care what you say. I don't care what you think, because what I see is what I'm judging on. I went to Kentucky Fried Chicken last night. There was about 10 employees. Every single one of them Mexican. Not one American. Not one white person. Not one American in that house. Well, maybe they were American. I can't tell. They were giving me a hard look because of my hat. Who knows? Maybe they spit on my food. I don't know. Whatever. As long as I don't see it, I don't care. I don't care. Now, I'm going to say this. I was a leasing agent. I rented apartments for a living. And I can tell you that we were overwhelmed with Hispanics coming in, getting apartments. You know what I found with this search of Hispanics applying for apartments? I wish that it was just somebody that, maybe they just moved from Utah or from New York or whatever, and they're Americans. Guess what? No. They were applying for an apartment with fake papers. How do I know? Their auntie and the niece had the same driver's license number. How about that? Every single person was so scared to tell me they were illegal. I can see it in their face. And the moment that I told them that I would tell them, hey, listen, we don't care if you're legal or not. We're just housing. We don't report people. So don't worry about it. And let me tell you something. Not once did I call ICE on any of them. I protected them. Because it was the ruling of housing. But I can tell you, we filled up the apartments very fast. And the cost of living went, I kid you not, and you can say whatever the hell you want. It went a 2-bedroom apartment from $750. Within a year, it went to $1,250. Do the math. 2 bedrooms, $750 to $1,250. And I bet you by now, you people don't even know that the rent was so cheap before. It is crazy. Let me tell you why we are great, but we're not there yet. We have to fight every libtard every single day. We got to fight all these millions of illegal immigrants. Every single day, they go from chat to chat. Like, for example, I'm going to show you the biggest libtard. BCJ, 1973. He's from India. He's not even American. He's over here throwing garbage in my chat, and he's not even American. Imagine that. You know who I blame for that? Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Newscom. That's who I blame. They go around the world talking shit about the United States of America. They don't care about this country. They don't care about you. They don't care about me. They don't care about any of us who stand for the law, who stands for this country, who actually are American patriots and want to defend this country. Let me touch a little bit on the religious part of this. First of all, if your God is this tiny, come to this country illegally. But if your God cannot be measured beyond measure, then you would be in your country praying to that God. Instead of breaking the law, as the Bible says, to respect the law of the land, for government was given by God. That is Christianity. That is what we believe. Now, Jesus told me to love my neighbor. That's anybody next to me. Love your neighbor, he says. Well, here we go. My mother taught me what love is. And my mother taught me to respect the law because she loved me. She told me to be something good for the country that provides for me because she loved me. She wanted us to be American citizens because she loved me. She worked her butt off and didn't want to be dependent on welfare because she loved us. She told me not to do drugs because she loved me. She told me to respect the law because she loved me. She didn't want anything bad to happen to me because she loved me. She never brought me to this country illegally because she loved me. Think about that before you call me a hypocrite. That is called good teaching. Good raising by a great mother. Best mother in the world. So you can eat your libtard words on hateful comments and go be happy with yourself. My mother raised me good. Every mistake that I make, my mistakes, solely my mistakes. BJ, go to timeout. Think about what you did wrong. 30 minutes in the hole. Don't be crying, libtard. There you go. Have fun. Religious-wise, well, let's go ahead and bring the Bible in here. Oh, official scooter, what a moron! Dead mommy issues? Are you kidding me? You call this issues? Tell me, have you ever called your mom a female dog? I'm sure you have. I'm sure you have disrespected your elders and your mother. Say you're a son of a bitch, and you have no respect. That's what's different between you and me. I love my mother. I had the best mother ever. All right. We're just going to put people in timeout here so they can learn how to, be nice. I respect all mothers. But my mother never wanted to put me and my sister in harm's way. My mother protected us. And you libtards that come through my channel, what you guys do is the opposite. You have to understand something. I don't hate people. But I got to tell you that if you're here illegally, you got to go. It is not a human right. Human rights are not the same as legal rights. Not the same. Big difference. So, Hammer, you're on the wrong side, bud. You're on the wrong side. What the hell? I'm getting emotional over here. Oh, man. Illegal immigration, it is a problem. And the reason why you have the minority of Americans supporting illegal immigration is because they see millions of illegal immigrants pretending to be legal in this country. And because they're so gullible, they're so naive, they don't know what the hell they're defending. Now, I've got some credit to Blaze TV here. And Glenn, that's actually a very smart man. I think Brian, if Brian is here, he actually likes this guy as well. Listen to this. I touched on immigration. I hope everybody was here for that. Child abuse, well, that's not my platform, but we are going to fight, continue to fight, because we've been fighting here in Washington State. We're going to continue to fight to keep men out of women's locker room in sports. We're going to continue to protect minors, children, from being mutilated, which for some reason, the libtards, the Democratic Party, are so into saying that President Donald Trump is a pedophile. Oh, blah, 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 the innocent children, and yet they commit murder by the millions through abortion, and they mutilate children, and they say we're the bad people. How about that? Let that marinate for a bit. Let that sink in. Every single libtard out there that it's okay with chopping a little boy's wee-wee off and doing surgery on little girls, confusing them, pushing them into darkness, who pushes them into suicidal thoughts. They hate themselves. Instead of reassuring who they are, instead of teaching them the right way, instead of being wise and giving them the truth straight up and guiding them so that they can run to be straight, literally straight like a tree. What do you do when you plant a tree? What do you do when you plant a tree? You put branches. You put some sort of support so that the tree grows tall and straight. It is the same thing that you got to do with your children. But the leftists want to do the opposite. If you don't like Trump, I don't care if you don't like Trump. You don't have to like him. I don't like you, but I can love you without liking you. You know how I can love you? By accepting you for who you are, and I'm not going to change who you are. But I am not going to tolerate that to do your disgusting, illicit things right in front of me or my children. Listen to Glenn here real quick. Very smart man.
Okay. It must be fixed because there's too many important things that are riding on it. One thing that they are doing that is right is the Fulton County, Georgia situation with the election of 2020. The morning after the election, that's just to remind you, Georgia's Secretary of State went on national television and said 4.7 million votes had been cast. He said only about 2% remained to be counted, which is roughly 94,000 ballots. And he said at this moment, the margin is decisive. Even suggested if one candidate won 100% of all of the outstanding votes, it's not going to change the outcome. But when the final tally first came in, the total wasn't 4.7 million votes that had been cast, 1,000 to more than 148,000 between election night and final certification. Where states? No known explanation has been provided to justify the surge. Pause. If the numbers change by that magnitude, after officials publicly declare with near final certainty, then again, we've got to get it right. Not almost right. We need it right.
I'm not worried about the history. I already know history. I live in the present for a better future for my children. You should learn before you ruin your children's future. I know spiritually it's a fight. It's a fight. It's spiritually. It's a big fight. I get it. But we also have to speak politically in our country. This is how we do. This is how we respect the law of the land. But it's God's will that will be done in the end. You need to be on the right side of salvation, worshiping false idols and false gods, it's not going to save you. You can have all the luxuries and materialistic things that you want over here and all your perversion, but in hell, you will pay. Let's hope that we are all getting right with God. I pray that you find the truth sooner than later.
We don't need defensiveness, dismissal. We need clarity. The report then goes into the chain of custody. Okay, listen to this. Investigators found that 148,000 absentee ballots were accepted and counted without first performing mandatory signature verification. Tens of thousands allegedly arrived at State Farm Arena in unsecured mail carts. Wait, what? Do you know what chain of custody is? Chain of custody is really important. It's not a partisan phrase. It is a basic legal principle. Chain of custody comes into play a lot of times in criminal trials, also financial audits. When you gather evidence, you have to know who had that evidence. That's one of the problems with the Epstein files. What's the chain of custody? You had all the evidence. Whose hands were on that? You have to know. And if the chain of custody breaks, then you can't rely on that being reliable anymore. You can't count that as reliable information because you don't know how it got from this place to the next place. Okay?
And we have millions of illegal immigrants. And not one leftist Democrat will agree with us to show proof of citizenship to vote. Instead, they want to call on the 24th Amendment poll tax. Seriously? That's what you want to go on a six decade change. Everybody should have an ID by now. No undocumented person should be in this country. Why are you undocumented if you are undocumented? Only illegal immigrants should be undocumented. I don't know how it's going to work, but I can tell you something. Everybody knows where they were born. And if they don't know, there should be a special place where people can get deported besides Salvador's, Alcatraz. Yeah, we don't want SICA to take all these people, but we definitely need to send them somewhere else. In this country, everybody should be documented. Everybody should be documented.
The next thing they found was the missing tabulator tapes. This is really important because election law requires daily zero tapes. What that means is it's a check to prove the machine starts at zero. It requires closing tapes to document the total at the day's end. Okay? So it proved it was at zero, and then it proves that this is the number of votes that came in. According to testimony cited in the report, more than 100 required tabulator tapes representing about 315,000 early votes weren't signed.
Well, And who is fighting to make sure there's no IDs or proof of citizenship being shown or proven? That's right, Democrats. Why is it? Somebody made a comment here earlier on my channel, and they said, "Oh, Washington State will never be red." Well. Let me tell you something. We are aware of that. You know what else we are aware of? That the only reason that can be true is if they were cheating on the elections. Because there's no way that this horrible government, it's so popular. There's no way that we have that many retards in this state. Is it possible? Is it possible that we have that many retards in Washington State? I don't think so. I think that there is a lot of ignorant people, and there is a lot of Republicans whose votes were suppressed. It's crazy to hear the Attorney General for Washington State to say those people who were undocumented, they told us they were American citizens, and we believed them. What? Wait, what? Are you serious? That's your defense? And you know why they feel so confident? Because they think that they can hold office forever. But I'm going to tell you something right now. Somebody's ass is going to jail. If by God I become the governor for some reason in Washington State, everybody is getting audited. Every single NGO is going to have to be held accountable. Every single one of them. You're not going to tell me that billions and billions of dollars are unaccounted for. That's not an answer. Unacceptable. We are going to make sure, you know what? And if you are listening and you are in government here in Washington State, I recommend you step down out of office and go somewhere very far away where we can't touch you. Because if I get in office, you will be audited. You will be investigated. Every single one person in government, and I can throw my name in that hat as well. You can take that to the bank. But I'm telling you right now, every single one of these libtards that is in government right now, you better run. You better run. Because we're going to run a very transparent campaign. We're not going to go and spend billions of dollars and raise hundreds of millions of dollars so that we can campaign. We are going to be very transparent with everything, and I will expect or depend on every single American patriot to share videos. Because once I start campaigning, it's going to be a whole different thing. It's going to be a whole different thing. And I'm going to tell you something right now. They better be scared right now. They better be scared. Because I am going to make sure that everybody that is guilty is going to be prosecuted. And it's not weaponizing the government to do my bidding. No, it's using the government to do what the people want them to do. It is the people's privilege, right, to know exactly what the government is doing. Do I think we're going to be perfect? Absolutely not. Will I make mistakes? Probably. I am going to hold everybody accountable for their mistakes. And as one of my wisest managers, owner of a company, once told me, when I said, sir, as I am learning this new thing, I said, I might make a mistake, and I apologize for that in advance. He said, Dennis, if you make a mistake, don't worry about it. Don't do it again. If you make a mistake and you keep repeating it and repeating it, there's something wrong with you and you should be fired. You should be held accountable for. See, you should be better as you gain experience, not worse. Then people wonder why they can't get a raise. People wonder why I was getting paid better than somebody else. People wonder why I was making this amount of money when they've been in the company for 10 years and they were making less. You know what the difference is? Accountability. I did a better job than that person. And that person hated me and envied me. Regardless, I treat him with respect. But it doesn't matter. Everybody in government should be held accountable. And we're going to start with Attorney General. And I'm sure these lawyers know more than me when it comes to law. They know more than me when it comes to the Constitution. But guess what? I will also have a team of legal people that will know the Constitution, that will know the law, and that will back us up, Americans, Washingtonians. And justice will be served. The law will be upheld in Washington State. And we're going to make Washington State great again. Cutting Edge, thanks for the super, bro. What they want in our culture, brother, the culture of the West, with Gavin Newsom and AOC and Hillary Clinton in Europe, it means they're begging and we're winning. Don't believe the fake post. I appreciate that. Thank you for the kind words, my friend. Absolutely. I agree with those comments 100%. With that being said, there's going to be a lot of fighting. not punching, fighting, but a lot of fighting with debates, trying to get Washington State back into shape is going to be probably harder than trying to get the country back into shape. For the same reason that Trump is having a hard time right now. But he has a lot of support from Republican government. I don't. So I hope that those who are on my side, those who continue to support me and believe on the Constitution of the United States of America, first of all, on the liberties, that it belongs to the United States of American citizens, I pray that you continue to support me in this long battle. It's going to be a long race. Very hard, very tough, very stressful. We're going against all odds. We are the underdogs. I was disappointed. I had a friend, well, not a friend, but I had a listener here this weekend, Friday. He lives here in Everett. And the way he thinks, it just almost destroyed my heart. Talking about it's unconstitutional to ask for ID to vote. And I'm like, how about, is it unconstitutional? Is it unconstitutional to have an ID for a license? I'm telling you, these people think we're fools. But mama didn't raise no fool. That's right. And I'm going to tell you, the education that I have from Honduras is very good. It's very patriotic. Unfortunately, the people that are in government in Honduras oppress the people all the time. I am hoping that the politician that just became a president in Honduras, who has ties with President Donald Trump, does something better for Honduras. Let me go ahead and let him finish with this because I think he's doing a very good job at breaking this down for me.
Or weren't signed properly. State investigators say they couldn't locate the required zero tapes for early voting on many machines. What? You can't what? Now, the report concludes that the statute requires accounting and chain of custody records, but they don't exist in the entirety of early voting. Okay, well, that's a really big failure. Then the last problem is the math problem. The math problem, the county records reportedly show 148,318 absentee ballots counted. Yet, again, this is going to be hard to do. I'm going to give you time so you can work out the math on this. You had only 125,785 voters. 148,000 votes cast, but only 125,000 people showed up to vote. So, what? That's a pretty big gap. More than 22,000 ballots in a race that was decided by 11,779 votes. After multiple certifications, the counts didn't match one another. Now, here's where this becomes serious, way beyond politics. Philip Stark, he does stats. He's from Berkeley. So I would say he's probably not a conservative. He came in and he reviewed all of the aspects of the process. Here's what he didn't do. He didn't say this is widespread fraud. But he did say there are real reasons to distrust the election outcome. He found machine counts and audit tallies disagreed substantially, even about the number of ballots that were cast.
And I've been saying this all along. Let me give you another heads up, a little FYI, just for your information. Thank you, Juan Alberto. Have a good night. Have a good day. I might see you later. So I'm trying to bring down my show to just one live, okay? And I like to be able to relax and like to be able to gather my thoughts and give you a better presentation. But You guys know that this is a raw, unscripted show. I don't read a script to give you. Everything is from my heart and from my mind. And as many times as I have made my show, you can go back and play every episode, and you will find that it's the same way all of the time. Let's see if I'm a perma banned from chat. Let me say Heramoto. If you're a jerk, bro, and you know it, why are you asking to be banned? You shouldn't worry about being banned unless you're being bad. Now let me tell you something. When the last couple of elections happened here in Washington State, the Mr. of Honduras is a globalist Dennis. The president is not one of them. Some of them here, some of them are, so watch out, brother. That's right. So listen, during the last election that Jay Inslee, the governor in Washington State, made, I said, there is no way that after it seems like all of Washington was against him, and we said, this guy, he's out. Culp went against him. And I thought, all right, here we go. Let's dance. Let's see what happens here. Now this is before I started getting involved. I wish that I would have gotten involved a lot sooner, and I would have backed him up. I would have backed up Culp 100%, and I would have said some things that he didn't say, or that maybe he didn't know how to say. He was not a fighter, but I believe he had the right mentality, he had the right heart to be governor in Washington. Unfortunately, the weak and those who are doormats to the abusers never win. That's why Trump has to be the way he is. Otherwise, nothing gets done in this country. You understand? So we got to get tougher. We got to be able to bring it. So I'm going to say, I thought Culp was going to win. I'm like, okay, fine, here we go. We got somebody new. Let's go. You know what? He lost by a massive amount number. And you know what Jay Inslee did? While they were still counting votes, he says, stop the counting. Stop the counting. I already won. Well. That's not how it works at all. We need to make sure that every registered voter got voted in. Not only that, but we also want to make sure it's a legit election. We want to make sure that the voters that were registered match the number of the people who voted. Well, guess what? They stopped the counting. And we came to find later, millions of votes, not millions, thousands of votes were not counted. Okay, whatever. You know what happens with the Governor, what's his name? I don't even like this guy, but Governor Ferguson. Same thing. They hide. They hide the amount of votes. Well, when I'm running, I want every single vote to be counted. Every single vote needs to be signed. Do you know why they're not signed? I'm going to let you guys answer this. Tell me, when you got 100,000 votes not signed, what do you think happened? Do you think 100,000 Americans, Washingtonians, oh, well, here we go. I got my ballot here. Let me fill it out. Yep. Check. Yep. I'm voting. Sign here. Nah. Put it in the envelope. Boom. Mail it in. Do you think 100,000 plus Washingtonians did that? They went all the way to the bottom where it says sign here. You think over 100,000 Washingtonians didn't sign it for no reason? Like the ones that he's talking about as well for another state? Over 100,000 ballots not signed. It was 300,000 somewhere, I think it was Michigan. I don't know what state it was, but it was over 300,000 ballots that were not signed. Imagine that. Imagine that. Every single one of those votes illegal, not to be accounted for. Anybody, whoever was in charge of lying and using somebody else's ballot, whoever was in charge of marking every single one of them forgot to sign all of them, or they don't want the same signature to appear in all of them. Either way, the voter rolls need to be investigated. They need to be audited. Georgia, thank you so much. I appreciate it, Tony. I think it's very fair. I think it's fair that we have a justice in elections, a fair election. There's nothing wrong with that. All right, Thunder Loco, toma way. I just saw your last comment, bro. My bad, man. My bad. I believe that the people deserve transparency. I believe that Washingtonians have been suffering long enough. Now, listen, if you're a business owner, you're a CEO, hey, congratulations. Let me just tell you, if you are a business owner, I know what it's like to be a business owner. And again, bad decisions will give you consequences. I learned a lot about businesses. I learned a lot about taxes, but I was not meant to be a business guy, at least not yet. I do have plans for the future so that my children have something for their future and so that my wife is taken care of. But I can tell you right now, if you're a small business owner or a mid-sized company, I'm going to fight for you. We're going to make sure that we're going to deregulate useless things that are being regulated. No, there's no Kool-Aid drinking, my friend. I'm almost a half a century old. And I'm nobody's bitch. That's something that you have to understand. I don't know if it'll be okay for me to get a hat that says I am nobody's bitch. We have to think about that. I think shut the hell up is good enough, I think. I think that's good enough. We don't want to make too many enemies. But I do like this. Every American believes in the First Amendment. I'm going to tell you something. If I was to use language that I use as I am speaking right now, it is the freedom of speech and expression. Stop telling me that President Donald Trump has to have their speech suppressed. That is the stupidest thing that you can say to me. Let's see. How do you feel about a 46-year-old Donald Trump to look at a 10-year-old and say he will date her in 10 years? I think that's respectful. Don't you think that's respectful? That proves, thank you so much, that proves he's not a pedophile. I don't know where you were going with that, bro, but that tells me that he's not a pedophile. Let me tell you something. Let's change gears a little bit. I've been tough on all the libtards. Let's change gears a little bit. My wife, sorry, babe. My wife was showing me videos of these old guys, old American guys, with a 21, 28, 30-something Filipino wives. And I said, why not? It's just like, well, the guy's like 78 years old and she's only 21. If she's not a minor, ain't nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying, there's nothing wrong with that. The guy, listen, I'm going to use that. I'm going to use that. The President Donald Trump said he was going to wait 10 years until she was 18. That proves to me he's not a pedophile. Everybody agree on the chat? Yes? So here's where I went with this when my wife was showing me these little videos of the Filipinas marrying some very old dudes. And she goes, oh, they're only doing that so they can get a green card. And I said, Well, what is it to you and to me? If a man has a means to get a green card for them, why not? The woman should look out for themselves. So what? So what if the guy is 75 years old? He's getting what he wants. She getting what she wants. And who knows? Maybe they do love them. I mean, I want to say they do love them, but I'm going to say maybe. Because even though I think it's okay, I don't know. Maybe they're gold diggers. We talked about gold diggers when I was in Honduras, right? Yeah, we're talking about gold diggers. But I'm going to tell you something. If the girl is going to get a green card and the man gets to be happy for the rest of his years, so what is it to us? Let them. They're 21. They're not minors. 21. You're adults. It is what it is. Robert, good to see you, man. I started to worry about you, my brother. You know what I'm saying? Robert knows what I'm talking about. Even Roberto Vasquez. He looks old in that picture. I am sure a Filipina woman will be more than happy to be his wife. I'm just saying, I know a lot of Filipinas, which is very interesting because it's not about the papers. They like older men. There's something about it. I don't know what it is, but they like older men. They feel that older men are wiser. They're better men. This is just what they say. Roberto, there is a chance, my friend. There is a chance for you, Roberto Vasquez. You can still have a hot wife. Hey, not laughing for you. Even my wife is laughing at that one. I'm just saying. Listen. Yeah, get him. My wife says, Roberto, go get your Filipino wife. He said, no, I'm okay, thank you. You know his wife is right next to him. Hey, when your wife leaves, go ahead and comment again. Oh man. Anyway, I'm gonna tell you this. Okay, I'm gonna tell you this. I know this couple. All right, I know this couple. Now listen, the Filipino wife, she looks like she's in her early 20s. Okay, she does. But let me assure you, she's in her 40s. Okay, and the guy is also in the 40s, late 40s. Now, they met in the United States. They didn't meet in the Philippines. They met in the United States of America, and they got married. But you know what they want? Roberto said he's going to sleep in the sofa. Hey, it's okay. Just shoot me an email. Don't worry about it. I got you, bro. I got you. Don't worry. This guy is cracking me up. No wife. That's why I have my sanity. No wife. See, Robert. Not you, Robert. I was talking to Roberto. Roberto Vasquez can get a nice hot Filipino wife, but he said he don't want to sleep on the couch, so he's not going to respond the way he wants to. But Robert, there's a chance for you, my old dog. There is a chance. Matter of fact, I got some connections. I got some friends that are Filipinos. We can hook you up, bro. We can hook you up, huh, babe? We can hook Robert up. Just because you're a true patriot, my friend. You can make some of those blogs, expat, married a hot Filipino wife, and then just enjoy the rest couple of decades of your life with that woman. And leave her everything, bro. Leave her everything. Everything that we do is for our women and our children. That's the way it should be. So, to get back to my point here, the reason why I don't have a problem, I think is weird, but I don't have a problem with an old man marrying a young Filipina adult woman. It's because regardless, he has a right to enjoy what life he has left, just like every one of us. And then she has the right to go for what she wants. If getting papers if getting security for her future, if that's what she wants and the man can offer that, hey, match made. Perfect. I would just recommend, just be faithful. Don't play with the old man's feelings, and vice versa. Make sure that you're going to truly love this woman, even if she is younger than you. It doesn't matter, okay? I know my wife is 10 years younger than me, but I did not meet her when she was 8 years old. And if I did, I would tell her to wait 10 years so that I can marry her. I guess me and Trump have something in common. Let's say, so did you really just try to justify sexualizing a 10-year-old? Nick Nonea, the fact that he says that he will wait 10 years, that's commendable. That's not a pedophile. If he was a pedophile, he would just take her right there. So, yeah, you guys proved your point. President Donald Trump is not a pedophile. And I find it very interesting, but every woman that she's been, every woman that he's married has never been an underage woman, girl, always been a woman, a grown woman. And every single woman that President Trump cheated on his wives, not that that's a good thing. I'm not saying that it's a good thing to cheat. But I'm just saying that every woman that President Donald Trump cheated on his wives on were women, adult women. So there's that. There's no pedophile. Boom. Case closed. Has been proven. 4 million documents from the Epstein files prove that Trump is innocent, and I just proved it that he's innocent by the wise words of a Democrat coming in to visit in my chat. Man, I love it when the plan comes together, don't you? Love y'all, man.
He wrote that some...
Wait, don't get gay on me. That was just for some of the girls.
Ballots, listen to this, appeared to be included at least twice in the original counts and multiple times in recounts. He warned that unreliable ballot marking devices could make recounts a little more than security theater. Those are his words, security theater. That's a little devastating to the trust in the republic and our vote. Because here's the truth. Republics don't crash when one side loses. Republics collapse when half the country believes the referee is unreliable. And that's what's happening. We don't believe the referee. This is why the position of Pam Bondi is so important. And she seems to be doing a good job on this one. Because historically, 1876, we just recovered from the Civil War, and we almost lost the Union post-Civil War in 1876, Tammany Hall, New York. It operated on ballot manipulation. Reformers came in, and they forced structural transparency because it was all garbage, all of it, and everybody knew it. Nations in Latin America, Eastern Europe.
I'm almost done.
Why do they spiral out of control? Because their ballot was imperfect? No. They spiral out of control because the citizens lose faith and trust that ballots even mattered.
Yep, that's right.
The flame of liberty. To have a flame, you need oxygen. Confidence is the oxygen that brings the flame of liberty to life. Without it, everything suffocates. This is why the Fulton County thing matters so much. It's not about proving somebody right or proving somebody wrong. It's not about relitigating personalities. I mean, they actually said to Donald Trump, what difference does it make? It's not going to change the election. No, it's not. But we must know what happened so it doesn't happen again.
That's right.
Are people this stupid? I think not. And then I go out and I talk to some people and I'm like, oh my gosh, they are this stupid.
I always say this. There's no way that most Washingtonians are retarded. Stupid, I guess I should start using. Some people are too damn sensitive to words. But this is what I say. And then when I talk with them, it's like, oh my God, you are. Here's my friend Glenn over here having the same issues.
This is about answering questions completely transparently and publicly. If the system is sound, it needs to be proven in daylight. If procedures failed, they have to be fixed openly. If records are missing, we need to know why they're missing and then correct the structure or arrest the people so it can't happen again. Because if Americans conclude that outcomes can shift without clear documentation, if chain of custody is just shrugged off on, I don't know, just paperwork, what difference does it matter? If audits contradict themselves and then we're told, don't dwell on that. It's an audit. What do you mean, don't dwell on that? Of course I dwell on that. I have to dwell on that. It's an audit. Imagine going to the IRS and they audit you and they come back and they say your numbers aren't right. And you're like, don't dwell on that. Don't dwell on those numbers. Of course they're going to dwell on that. It's the numbers, and math is math.
Yep.
And if you can't fix those things, then elections stop being the peaceful transfer of power. And isn't that what we're all afraid of? Isn't the left afraid of that? And isn't the right afraid of that? That one time somebody's not going to believe the election and they're going to seize power. You want to stop that, then you must have an accounting on what happened in Fulton County.
100%. 100%. Glenn Beck, ladies and gentlemen, there is a link to this video in my description. And now I would like to go ahead and get to the part of my show where we give credit to our favorite crime chef. If you guys haven't subscribed to his channel, I recommend that you do subscribe. Go give it a shot. Link is on the description to this video. And yeah, let's watch some Juanitos get deported here.
On student visas. Watch what happens when two immigrants get caught shoplifting while on student visas.
Hello. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Good. Here we have some student IDs with students from EWS.
Okay.
They're in our store today. They selected all these items. They went through the register 47, but they only paid for half their stuff. They would put stuff in bags, they would scan an item, put some stuff in a bag, scan one item, and they kept on doing this. Scan one, put 3 or 4 in a bag.
Okay.
And they did this to their entire transaction. They're just kind of going through to see what's paid for and what's not paid for. Everything that's not paid for so far is over there. What is paid for is right here.
Do you guys have state IDs? You don't have a driver's license? Okay. And then you don't have a driver's license. Do you have driver's license or an ID out of a different state? No? Okay.
Passport.
Yeah, can I see your passports?
I don't have right now.
We have it in our room. Huh?
We don't have it right now.
Where are your passports?
In Rome.
In the dorms?
Okay. I marked myself on scene.
Bye, Felicia.
I can show you my picture.
Yeah, that would be great. Can you guys tell me why you were...
I want you to pay attention to this. And William thinks I'm lying, right? That's okay. It's okay. Everybody can say whatever they want. But I want you to pay attention to this. And I want you to understand the reason why Democrats don't want you to show voter ID when they vote. He has a passport, he has student IDs, but they don't have a license. Do you think that these people can actually go into a voting booth and says, I'm an American citizen, I am here to vote? Do you think that's enough to allow them to vote? You think that's enough to exercise the right for you, the American people, for us, the American citizens, a right that belongs solely to you, the American people, American citizens? It makes total sense. It makes total sense to show ID and proof of citizenship. I think you don't have to go to the military. You don't have to go do this. You don't have to go do that. But you sure as hell should be able to show a proof of citizenship.
I can show you the ID have money in my account.
Thank you, Aaron.
Over minus.
It looks like you have $840 in there.
It's a used. At the available is minus.
Huh?
Available is minus. It's the used.
So you guys are shoplifting because you didn't have any money?
I didn't have money.
Didn't have money? Okay.
Right on. I think it was a mistake because your comment deleted said Dennis knows how to do it the right way. And I appreciate you. Sorry about the timeout. It wasn't me, but Brian, what are you doing, man? Stop timing out people that are making good comments. Make sure you choose the right line. Sorry about that, Right On. You're right. You're right. We're in the same team, baby.
Why are you guys getting like dishes and stuff like that?
We don't have anything to do.
Don't have anything? No.
Sorry about that, though.
Okay. Do you have a picture of your passport? So he said that they were shoplifting. They didn't have any money to pay for anything.
Like scan one.
Are you able to run a name from a Republic of India passport? Last name is spelled Paul, Adam, Tom, Edward, Lincoln. First name is spelled King, Robert, Ida, Sam, Henry, Ida. Middle.
Right On. It looked like you deleted that comment.
Spelled Robert, Adam, John, Edward, Sam, Henry, Boy, Henry, Adam, Ida. Have you guys been in trouble before?
No.
Did you guys just start attending UWS this year?
No.
How long have you guys been at UWS?
It's my third.
This is your third year? Okay.
So you're both from India then?
No. Nepal.
Okay. How does it work with your visas if you get convicted of a crime? Does that
Now, I
affect your
love
visa?
you, Right On.
For someone in the US on a student visa, a shoplifting charge can carry consequences far beyond the criminal penalty. Because theft is generally classified as a crime involving moral turpitude under immigration law, it can trigger visa revocation, service termination, inadmissibility, and even removal proceedings. If there is a conviction, including certain plea deals, the visa can be revoked. DHS may initiate deportation proceedings, future visas can be denied, and long-term green card eligibility can be severely damaged, even if the jail sentence is minimal. In some cases, even an arrest without a conviction can lead to visa cancellation, denial at renewal, problems at the port of entry, or mandatory consular review, since immigration consequences often attach to an admission of guilt or plea, not just time served.
And I also want to point out that we do have a stream boss, and I've been neglecting to do this, but Dominic has the floor as our as our stream boss. So give it up. I want to see some emojis here from some of you guys that can give emojis, and give it up for the stream chat boss of the day. Like a boss, a big jefe, el patron. Now, I want to point out to you on the libtard side, on the leftist side, that the fact that you think that we are perverted by saying a comment, which, by the way, doesn't have to be true. It could be just a compliment. The fact that you have a perverted mentality of what you would do with that child, I think it speaks volumes of why you are the party of hate and perversion. To say to a 10-year-old, man, I'm going to wait till you're 18 years old, and you take that as a perverted comment, You are so ignorant. I will tell you that right now. Because when I was explaining before that I went on vacation to Honduras and I was sleeping with my daughter, you perverts on the left managed to somehow translate it into something disgusting. That's your party. We're not like that on this party. We like to think that we are Christian patriots who want this country to be better than you guys are trying to make it.
He's negative FDIC.
What's your name? Christian. Stand up, Christian.
518 Superior. I have another name to run. It's going to be from a Nepal passport.
Okay, have a seat.
You know, it's funny when my mother and my aunties will say that I'm such a catch that when I get old enough, I'm going to be able to just attract women left and right. I don't think they were being perverted to tell me that when I was 8 years old. You guys are disgusting.
Is this your bag? There's a bunch more stolen merchandise in there.
If you didn't vote for President Trump, it means you lost. Get the hell out of my chat if you don't like it. Patriots only can stay here, finish watching this video, and then I'm going to show you just a little extra. I want to share the video of the Filipino girl and an American that are actually have been married for years now, and they have lived in the Philippines for a few years already. But that's just for us, okay? Everybody, if you're not on our side, you can get the hell out of my chat, and then we can enjoy this moment by ourselves.
So you're under arrest right now, okay? You're under arrest for theft. So did she have anything on her, or did she have a cart full of stuff?
Yeah, they were together.
They were
She
both
was
doing it.
one of the. She was pushing the cart. Maybe he was. I don't remember. It was a together thing.
Okay, I'm going to give you the opportunity right now to come clean with me. Whose idea was it to do this?
So we had
Hers.
in separate bills. I paid first, and then he went second. But when he was scanning, he checked his Apple account, and he didn't have enough money. And then he really needed the food, so we didn't have any other option. So.
What's a good phone number for you?
609.
So did she pay for any of her merchandise at all?
Some of it, not all of it.
Okay.
5292. What dorm do you guys live in?
I live in Ross House, and he lives in
All right, what dorm do you live in?
Sienna.
So to gather this right, they were shopping together. They went through the line together. They were scanning together. They were both putting things in the bag that were not scanned.
Together.
And it was every other item or something like that. They scanned one and then they put three unscanned in a bag. Okay.
I can pull it up.
So she at some point does pay something though, or is that?
She does pay something, and it does pay something.
Oh, they both do pay a portion of it then?
Yep. I had no idea about the stuff in the backpack.
Do you have any stolen things in your purse?
I don't want to dig if you just want to hand me your stuff.
Here.
Oh, you're talking about
I don't want her digging around in her purse.
It is yours.
Herrera, I am trying to stay quiet so we can watch the video, moron. I still stand by what I said. You're a pervert, and that's it.
Yeah, so you folks will return that then and put it on your start?
Yep, it'll go back to the
Okay.
start.
All right. Thank you. Thank you.
See it in there?
So is 590 then?
Yes, but 4 times 590 and 30 cents.
All right. Cool. All right. Perfect. Thank you. All right. Bye. When you book her in, it's going to be felony level theft because it came to 590 before tax. I didn't think it was going to be a felony amount.
Yeah, well, as soon as I saw the makeup coming out, I knew it was, I was like, this is going to rack up quick.
Jeez, I didn't realize that stuff was that expensive.
He should have a dorm address on Catlin. And then he was identified with his India passport.
I'm sorry, what's that?
Okay,
He was
move for
identified
1
with a
second.
screenshot of his India passport on his phone. That's how I identified him. I knew who he was. I'll go check that. So you committed a felony, so it's not a book and release. It was over $500 worth of theft. We didn't know, but my partner was informed it was over $500 worth of theft, so that makes it a felony. So you guys have been arrested for felony theft, and that's what you're in jail for, and probably gonna have to see a judge before you're released.
I did not take worth $500. We had two different things. Like, I'm being honest with you. I took very less stuff. Mine was not $500. You can double check with the Walmart too. Those are not my stuff. I know we were together, but he had his own stuff. I had my own stuff.
And I can inform my partner what you're telling me, and I want to let you know that you are in custody right now, so anything you take in will be used against you. If I ask you any questions, I have to review your Miranda warning. Okay, so I can bring up what you just told me to my partner. From what I could gather on scene, you both were going through the line together.
Lesson to be taken away from here: if you are a resident green card holder, if you are on a student visa or work visa, anything like that, those can be revoked by criminal activity. As a matter of fact, I remember, a long time ago, my mother, obviously, she used to tell me that we should never be on welfare because somehow it would damage our chances of becoming citizens of this country. And she said that if we were going to be in this country, that we were going to be part of the country, not to come over here and be dependent on the help of the country. And I find that that was very, very nice. All right, so I'm going to share this video. This is just totally off the agenda here for today, because I'm already done with my agenda. This is the one of the couples that I was telling you about. Look how young she looks. She looks very young, but she's older. All right, let's go ahead and give him some props. If you haven't seen these videos, I'm sure some of you probably have, maybe. The name of the channel is called It's Me. That's how he didn't plan on making these blogs, and so they have a lot of things, answer questions that a lot of expats or Americans have been asking about Philippines and stuff. And he's a very humble guy, very buffed up guy, but very humble. She's very beautiful, but they met here in the United States of America, and they live in the Philippines together. And I think it's fantastic. I think it's phenomenal. Let's go ahead and listen to them. Guys, if you're not a member, if you're not a subscriber, if you don't like this, thank you for stopping by, and you can leave if you want. But I want you to really check out this channel, okay? They're a really humble couple. And I'll put a little link on there if you guys want to click on that for your record.
And who takes my spot? Hey everyone, it's me again and my wonderful wife,
Raquel.
Okay, took some time. All right. If you're new to the channel, well, you know what? I already introduced myself. We live in the Philippines. We've been here for over 4 years now. 4 years this month. So 4 years. Anyways, prior to that, she did live with me in the States for a couple of years, and we do quite a bit of traveling. So
that's what happened.
Yep. I find it funny because I told her we were going to vlog today, and she got excited. She got all ready, got all cute.
Hey, it's Valentine's Day. That's why I'm wearing red.
Yes, but I thought it was funny because you haven't actually asked me what we're talking we're talking about.
Well, I wanted to ask you now, what are we going to talk about?
She's a great part.
Just watch it here. It's on my description, just so you can go to his channel later and subscribe, Tanya.
partner because she's like, okay, great, let's vlog, and she just gets ready and sits down, and she hasn't even asked me what we're talking
I don't
about.
want to stress about it. Like, it's not my job. I'm here just here to sit down and just react and make my
Look
opinion.
pretty.
Look pretty, yes. That's important too. So why stress out? So let's just enjoy the show.
Yep. Okay, that's true.
Okay, so yeah. So what
Okay.
are we gonna talk about?
I want to respond or react to, I don't know how I'll actually phrase it, to the other vloggers that are being negative about the Philippines, because it keeps popping up. Now, one or two did a video being negative and like listing all these things, so then naturally like a bunch of other ones have done it. And then people will send me clips and, Corey, how do you feel about this? Or does this make sense? And it's mostly the fact that they're doing it because it gets views. I hate to say it, but they're just being dramatic because it gets views. So they're just, so yeah, for the most part, all I've noticed is nothing realistic. That's my first opinion on it, because I really feel like they're just being very dramatic because it gets views. And I hate to say that, but when you say those kind of negative things, it does get views. So I was mentioning that to her. So then like a month ago, I labeled one video, because we're always positive and happy in every video, that we're having drama in the Philippines. And then I laughed because the view count was like triple what it was the week before, which, so I see why they're doing.
Just so you guys know, I'm only showing this couple to you guys because I think that they're very tremendous. Breaking, this is just out of politics and religion and all this stuff. This is not something that I have planned, but I do find it that that this is an American guy who had a bad experience in America with his wife, and here's a Filipino woman who you can tell she's very beautiful, they're both very innocent in a way. They're a little bit, quirky or whatever you want to call them, but he loves her and she is totally in love with him. And I really admire their relationship. And, the way that she talks about her family, how they have rules, how they keep certain things, in a certain way. And she gives him 100%. He's the man of the house. And she follows him. And he is just so happy that she has his back. And, I think it's very, very awesome. So I really want to give them credit. You guys can, give it a like on their channel, maybe even subscribe if you want to see some of the videos that they made in the Philippines. Robert, get some insight on the Philippines. You never know. It might just work out.
Doing it. That's not something that I want to continue doing, because we're just trying to explain a problem. But for the most part, they're just being very dramatic and trying to get views.
What are those?
What are what?
What's those negative that they...
Well, I'm not going to... I don't watch the videos.
Blaming.
Like, I haven't watched one. I will get, like, little clips of, like, different things, or people are concerned about this or concerned about that, or I have a lot of conference calls every week, so I talk to a lot of foreigners that are moving over here, and then lately it's, well, did you watch this video? So, now I'm not sure because so-and-so said this, and I'm like, oh, okay, here we go.
Well, that's their experience, so they're just being honest. It's just really sad that they experienced those, but like I said, it's the environment. If you stay in those environments, so nothing changed. Like the same people, the same energy, the same frequency. It's the same. So you can play the same and for years. So nothing changed. So just try to move and maybe find that you have peace of mind and change the people around you. So it really does.
Yeah.
Give effect in your life or your...
Yeah, in my opinion, the number one thing is they're really just being dramatic and looking